Again, as we welcome you to the State Farm Tip-Off Classic, part of the Tip-Off Marathon presented by Disney Parks in Knoxville tonight. It's number 7 Miami against the number 3 ranked Lady Vols. I'm Bob Wischusen. Welcome to Knoxville. Pat Summitt. The name automatically evokes images of inspiration to countless numbers of thousands of young women who not only took up basketball but maybe athletics due to her inspiration. For 38 years, she has been not only the face of the Lady Vols, but women's basketball as a whole. Well, now she's fighting a different battle. She goes to the Mayo Clinic after a series of memory lapses last May. In late May, the legend is diagnosed with mild but distinct signs of early onset dementia, and she tells school administrators of her dementia diagnosis in August, and after informing her team, goes public. A very courageous battle that she now fights in the public eye, early onset dementia. Kara Lawson, who better to talk to about this than the former point guard who won championships in the SEC, playing right here for Pat Summitt. Your initial reaction when you heard the news, and as a former player, thinking about the current players, the impact on them?
Initial reaction was shock and sadness, like so many other former players. Coach Summitt has been such a mentor to me in teaching me how to compete, not just in the game of basketball, but the game of life. And you go now to her current players, her staff. What's going to be different about Coach Summitt when you see her on the sideline? Now, the activity of her assistant coaches, calling plays, making substitutions, calling timeouts, the frequency of that has increased. Instead of this being a solo act for Tennessee, it's now going to be a chorus of coaches' voices for the players.
Well, we're a trio, thank goodness, as Holly Rowe is with us tonight as well, and she has more.
Well, we came to the home opener for Pat Summitt on Sunday, and there's no discernible outward difference. That's one of the questions people had, is why does Coach continue to coach? She answered that for us.
The one thing that really drives me is having a team. You know, having my son obviously is the best, but going in and having my team and having the assistant coaches they're tremendous. It just keeps my brain working. I'm active. I'm doing things. And what I want to do is get other people to understand if you have dementia, don't be afraid of it. Figure out a game plan.
And she has figured out a game plan. We'll share with you how she's delegated responsibilities throughout the course of this game, but most importantly, the players. I talked with 2 of her seniors who've been with her the longest. Glory Johnson said, I don't see any difference. Shakina Strickland said, she's exactly the same today as she was my first day of practice. She's still yelling at me. Shakina, get your volume up. They said Coach hasn't changed at all.
Well, Holly, as we take a look at tonight's starting lineups presented by State Farm, there's some pressure on those seniors this year to try and get to the Final Four, and they'll try and do it, Kara, with a freshman point guard.
Ariel Massengale. She has given Tennessee their first true point guard since 2008. Great poise and confidence for the young player.
Speaking of poise and confidence, there's a 1-2 punch. Shanice Johnson and Raquana Williams, they pack a punch for Miami.
They are sensational. They can score at every level on the offensive floor, and Shanice Johnson's going to be a nightmare matchup for the Lady Vols.
Pat Summitt in her 38th year on the Tennessee Lady Vols sideline. 8 national titles, 18 Final Fours, and a former protege to a certain extent, Kara. Katie Meyer is the first head coaching job that Katie Meyer had at the University of Charlotte before coming to Miami. Pat Summitt had a lot to do with her getting that job.
She did have a lot to do with Katie Meyer getting that job, and the one thing that Pat Summitt said to Katie Meyer about a year after she got the job was, I put my name on you. You better do a good job of representing, and she sure has, both at Charlotte and Miami.
The purple sweater that Katie Meyer wears on the Miami sideline tonight, also not an accident, that in honor of Pat Summitt, the color that represents Alzheimer's research, and a takeaway on the opening possession by Raquana Williams. That's Miami's specialty, pressuring the ball. Last year they led the nation in steals.
Absolutely. Expect this to be a frenetic pace as both teams have great athletes that can get up and down the floor very quickly.
Johnson with the ball fake and the shovel pass underneath. Loose on the deck, a tie-up, and it'll stay with the Canes.
You know, the 2 battles I'm looking for in this game, Miami, a team that likes to wreak havoc on the defensive end, get extra possessions by turnovers. Tennessee wants to get their extra possessions on the offensive glass.
Quick trigger off the inbound, won't go, and a foul call. Rebound pulled down in traffic by Vicky Ball, and the foul called against Sylvia Bullock. Both of these teams at 1-0 with a warm-up contest over the weekend as Tennessee dispatched Pepperdine, and Miami, before coming to Knoxville, beat Texas Pan American on Sunday. But this only the second regular season game for these two teams. It's kind of a clash of the Titans to come this early in the year.
It's a terrific top 10 matchup with some of the great players in the country. As you see Vicky Ball, the senior, get the layup. To me, how does Miami handle the moment? This is an atmosphere that, unlike they've ever played in, looks like Bebe, Raquana Williams, is handling it just fine.
Not too bad. Just as Tennessee takes the lead, the Canes take it right back on the Williams three. Spaney falls away. That won't go. High in the air for the rebound, Shanice Johnson. They list her as a guard. Last year, she averaged over 8 rebounds a game. Stroman drives it, draws the foul. So that personal foul will go against Vicky Ball, and that will put Morgan Stroman at the free throw line. And for Ball, it's just good to see her healthy and back playing again.
Absolutely. She looks like the Vicky Ball of 2008. Remember, this is a young woman that tore her ACL in the national championship game in the second half of Tennessee's back-to-back national championships, and she really hasn't been the same since that first knee injury. She re-injured it again the next season. With a healthy Vicky Ball and her veteran wisdom makes a whole world of difference for this Tennessee team.
And now Ball will sit down as Megan Simmons comes on, so a smaller lineup on the floor for the Lady Vols. Crossover by Glory Johnson, shut down and almost a takeaway by Shanice Johnson. Simmons with the pull-up. Offensive rebound underneath by Glory Johnson, and players go to the deck and go down hard. Underneath Glory Johnson was Morgan Stroman, and she's still down.
When we talked to Katie Meyer at shoot-around, the one thing that she spoke of as her biggest concern, as it is for a lot of coaches facing the Tennessee program, rebounding, boxing out, keeping them off the offensive glass. She called Glory Johnson the best rebounder that they've prepared for.
And Stroman now has to sit down as she not only got hurt, but was called for a second foul. Nearly a takeaway. And then on the end line was Raquana Williams while she was trying to make the steal. So Brian Interline calls it out of bounds. As you can see, Stroman being worked on over on the Miami bench. She has 2 fouls now, though. So regardless of the injury, she'd probably be on the bench anyway. Simmons can't get the friendly bounce, and the rebound pulled down by the Pittsburgh transfer, Pepper Wilson. Left all alone, Ederstrom, and she knocks down a 3.
That's a layup for that kid. Ederstrom can really stroke it from beyond the arc. Miami's pace, they look to find her for transition threes early and often.
Spaney, a long 2. On the way from Johnson. In and out. Simmons has it taken away by Shanice Johnson. Johnson with a crossover, and the finger roll is good. And the Canes extend their lead to 6.
You better be ready to protect the basketball when you go against Miami. So quick and so athletic. Hard to prepare for in practice. They are always seeking to get a deflection and get their hand on the basketball.
Spaney, though, answers with a triple.
Tennessee going to the 3-2 zone with Glory Johnson at the top. She's very active and can really wreak a lot of havoc up there.
Way outside, Raquana Williams. Hot shooting start for these two teams. They're pouring it on in the first 3.5 minutes.
No fear from Miami, and they're led by both Johnson and Williams. They're going to come in here with guns a-blazing. They have the talent and the confidence level to score against Tennessee.
Simmons left alone. That's a pretty good shooter to back off of like that. It's funny, when the Canes players walked in here for the first time today, you could hear some of their players, and I think it was actually Katie Meyer as a turnover on the inbound by the Canes. Katie Meyer said to her team, hey, shooter's gym. This is a shooter's gym. It just looked good. The black seats behind the baskets, and these two teams are not disappointing.
Well, one way you bust open a zone is how about range, and Raquana Williams has that. She takes a lot of deep threes. Tennessee has to know they got to check her from beyond that three-point line.
Strickland, tough fadeaway. And the rebound pulled down by Pepper Wilson. Knocking down another is Raquana Williams. That'll put Miami over 60% from the field. And 50% shooting to start for Tennessee. That gets even better. Ariel Massengale gets in the act. Just missing from long range was Williams. The offensive rebound by Pepper Wilson. She lost it out of bounds. And a foul was called as we take our first time out. Pat Summitt, her team down by 3.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. And Mercedes-Benz. Experience truly great engineering today at your authorized dealer.
Aaron, you're all set.
Great, thanks.
Mike, thanks for doing that discount double check. You saved us hundreds.
What was that?
The discount double check? It's when we comb through your policies and make sure that you're getting all the discounts you deserve.
No, I get that part, but you guys are doing my move.
The discount double check move?
It's my touchdown dance.
So you're a dancer?
No, I'm a quarterback.
Oh, quarterback.
More.
I'm a robot.
Where's your
Get out of here.
Aaron Rodgers got his. How about you?
Rodgers! Discount double check!
Get to a better state. State Farm.
Oh, what fun it is to ride. Get the Mercedes-Benz on your wish list at the winter event going on now. But hurry, the offer ends soon.
If you think Tylenol is the pain reliever orthopedic doctors recommend most for arthritis pain, think again and take a leave. It's the one doctors recommend most for arthritis pain. 2 pills can last all day.
Oregon and Oklahoma are back in the title hunt, but need impressive conference wins to keep their chances alive. Saturday Night Football, USC Oregon or Oklahoma Baylor. Saturday at 8 on ABC or ESPN3. College football lives here.
Sunday NFL Countdown, now at 10 a.m. on ESPN.
Well, oftentimes, Alzheimer's can affect the patient and their loved ones almost equally. And speaking of loved ones of Pat Summitt, she is closer to no one more so than her son Tyler, and he's standing by with Holly Rowe.
Well, it feels like we've all watched Tyler grow up on national television. You've been such a fixture with your mom, but how has your role had to change with what's happened with your mom?
Well, I started off, just a son, the little boy who grew up under this team, under my mom, but I've tried to take on more responsibility and just help as I can because my mom and I are a team, and any way we can help each other, we always try to do that.
How are you balancing this out, though? Because you're a 21-year-old college student. You're a walk-on on the men's team. How are you not letting it overwhelm you?
Well, my mom, she can do 7 things at once, and so I'm learning from her. I can only do maybe 5 at once, but I learned from the best, so I'm just following her lead.
What are some of the cool things people have reached out to try to help you or help you understand what's going on?
Well, the amount of support is incredible. Sally Jenkins, who wrote my mom's book, is in town right now. Billy Moore, her Olympic coach, and just all of her friends. And, look at the fans. It's incredible. The student section is filled. Everybody's reached out, and the support's just incredible.
What's important for everybody out there watching to know about your mom right now, Tyler?
Just that she's fighting. She's never met an opponent that she couldn't beat, and that's how she's approaching this. She's going to work her heart out every single day.
Thanks, Tyler.
All right, have a good one.
All right, Holly, thanks very much. And, Kara, I think when we even opened the show, the quote that we had from Pat Summitt when talking about dealing, as Simmons will go to the free throw line with early onset dementia, she almost treated it like it's a Final Four game. And now she needs to battle a tough opponent on the court. She said, if you have early onset dementia, don't be scared of it. Come up with a game plan, and that's what she's done.
She has a game plan, and she follows it to a T every single day. She gets up in the morning, she works puzzles, whether it's on, you know, an iPad or whether it's books that she does, and she doesn't get up until she's finished with it. So she has a great amount of discipline in order to fight this and try and prolong it.
Well, that's the kind of work ethic that puts together a resume like this. And
Absolutely.
You were part of 3 of those 18 Final Fours.
You know, Coach Summit, the numbers don't even really do it justice. And the numbers itself are just amazing, what she's done for not just this Tennessee program, but the sport of women's basketball. Her reach is so far, and you look at her coaching counterpart in Katie Meyer and how Coach Summit has touched and helped her career as well.
A 1-point game, 5 minutes in, and a high-scoring game at that. Good defense by Tennessee. Barely avoiding a 5 count, the Canes, and now a turnover. Uderstrom dragged her pivot foot.
You can already see Miami much more comfortable in transition game. Half-court execution, that's the biggest need for improvement for this team. If they want to make that jump to a contender, locking down half-court offensive execution against great defenses.
Third Canes turnover. And a chance for Tennessee to take the lead. Strickland backs up for 3. And the rebound to Pepper Wilson. Johnson, a little stutter step crossover, but you can't squeeze it home. Traveling called on Vicky Baugh. And a reminder, Thursday night, ESPN2 serves up the 2K Sports Classic benefiting Coaches versus Cancer. The semifinals at 7 Eastern, number 18 Texas A&M and Mississippi State. St. John's then takes on number 16 Arizona. At the Gardens, the 2K Sports Classic, ESPN2, that comes up Thursday night. 4 turnovers now for the Canes.
One of the things with Shakina Strickland at the 4 position, when Tennessee attacks zones offensively, they have 4 shooters on the floor, and that enables Vicky Baugh to have some space in there.
Pull up by Johnson, in and out. Spaney the rebound. I want to pick up a cheap foul at midcourt. Good job by Johnson. And another 3 goes down for Megan Simmons. An 8-0 run. Uderstrom breaks it from the corner, and just like that, Miami's back on top.
Cannot leave that kid open. Cannot do it. Tennessee lost her. That's the 2nd time in transition. That's as good as a layup. She's a knockdown shooter from deep.
Ball movement to Massengill. Short. Over the back calls on Strickland.
One of the biggest omissions from the Tennessee starting lineup is Megan Simmons. She led him in scoring a year ago. Now she comes off the bench as a 6-man. Instant offense when she steps on the floor. She has an aggressive mindset to take the ball and try and put it in the basket when she gets it.
Simmons last year, the SEC Freshman of the Year. Not only led the Lady Vols in scoring, but also in assists. You like her coming off the bench?
In the sense that she gives them great scoring punch, I do, particularly if a player opens up and gets in early foul trouble, as Vicky Baugh picked up a quick one.
That Vinnie Johnson kind of microwave effect off the bench. She comes in, and all of a sudden the points start to ratchet up.
Absolutely.
Massengill off the ball. Too strong. The long rebound. Ends up with Mariah Brown. Brown missed everything. Weak side layup, though, as easy as could be for Crystal Saunders. Spaney tries a 3. Got it. We're on about 110-point pace right now for each team. 8 points for Spaney. Shot clock down to 5. Saunders for 3. Long rebound, tracked down in the corner by Shanice Johnson. Williams, a little long. Strickland straight away. That's a 3 for Shakina Strickland.
And that's the value of having your trail post, your forward player, be Shakina Strickland. Because of that ability, coming in late in secondary, and her ability to knock down that top of the key 3.
Shot clock winding down for the Canes. Aquana Williams, pretty floater in the lane, but there's a lid on the basket. And a foul call at the other end of the freshman Crystal Saunders. When we talked about the impact on everyone of the diagnosis for Pat Summitt, how about the impact on the assistant coaches? We'll have that when we come back. This is the SEC on ESPN.
They've been tested, built, and driven like no other. And now they're being offered like no other. Come to the winter event and get an exceptional offer on the Mercedes-Benz of your dreams. It's our way of showing a little holiday spirit. But hurry, the offer ends soon.
Congratulations.
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 Today, the City of Charlotte can use Verizon technology to inspire businesses to conserve energy and monitor costs, making communities greener.
Congratulations.
And buildings as valuable to the bottom line as the people inside them.
Congratulations.
Because when you add Verizon to your company, you don't just add, you multiply. Verizon.
Hey guys, the reviews are in on Cars.com.
Really? What'd they say?
Well, let's see. It says Sheila looks great, topless.
What's so funny?
Nothing. Nothing?
And it says here Hank's a real gas guzzler.
You hear that, Hank?
Whatever.
Hey, what about me?
It says your ride is very smooth.
Aw, yeah. Hear that, Sheila?
Never gonna happen.
With consumer and expert reviews, confidence comes standard.
See? Just like the review said. Big rear end.
Excuse me?
We're going to hit some bumps in the road. We know that. But there's healthy coaches that hit bumps in the road. So we are ready for it.
The principles that Pat has run this program on, honesty, integrity, hard work, that will not change. It hasn't changed and it won't change.
Well, that is some committee that she has Celine on, as, of course, Pat Summitt diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. So this was the huddle a moment ago while we were away, and it really, Kara Lawson is a committee with Holly Warlick, Nikki DeMoss, Dean Lockwood, and, of course, Coach Summitt.
It's always been a committee, and I think the thing that people are doing to some extent are looking and seeing what's different. And there's not really anything that's different. It's that the assistant coaches have greater responsibility and that it's increased in frequency what they have to do for the team.
Do you think we have a tendency to overanalyze some of those pictures just because of the diagnosis?
I think if you see an assistant coach call a timeout or make a substitution, your first instinct might be, well, are they doing that because of the diagnosis? And the reality is being a player here, no, they've done that all along. They've always huddled in timeouts. Assistants have always had a lot of responsibility in terms of drawing up plays.
Well, listening in on that last huddle was Holly Rowe. Holly?
Well, guys, what they've actually tried to do is have some clear roles. Holly Warlick, that you're looking at on your screen right now, she is in charge of the defense. So on this huddle, she actually had a stool in the huddle, which is different than I've seen before. She and Pat were side by side on stools. She talked just defense. And Mickey DeMoss is more of the offensive specialist. Dean Lockwood helps out on defense as well. And then Coach Summit oversees it all. So they've tried to clarify their roles. They said it's still a work in progress. In their first game Sunday, there were some miscommunications on things like substitutions, timeouts. That's going to evolve as things go along.
Strong drive by Raquana Williams. And Holly, it's actually not that much different than a football coaching staff. Oftentimes the head coach is kind of a CEO, and you've got your offensive coordinator, your defensive coordinator, and you'll let them call plays, you'll oversee it, but you'll trust them to do their job as well.
Absolutely. Texas A&M won a national championship last season with Gary Blair, their head coach, as their offensive coordinator, and Vic Schaefer as their defensive coordinator. So this is not unprecedented, and the Aggies have done it to much success over the last few years.
You can see Sylvia Bullock now on the Miami bench as well, as she and Morgan Stroman both with 2 fouls apiece. So that's the 2 main front court starters for Miami, now with 2 fouls, and we still have basically half to play here in the first half. Mariah Brown uses the window.
That foul trouble would have been a real problem a year ago, but you have the transfer from Pittsburgh and Pepper Wilson. That gives them a tremendous force on the inside, off of the bench. And then Mariah Brown, who just scored that basket, she's probably Miami's most improved player from her freshman to sophomore season.
Well, Shanice Johnson didn't get too long of a rest as she replaces Ytterstrom. Miami with the pressure defense. It is a held ball. It will stay with Tennessee. And a reminder, Thursday, the Puerto Rico tip-off continues with games on ESPN2 and ESPNU. First at 5 Eastern on ESPN2. Maryland meets Alabama. Then at 7:30 Eastern on ESPNU. It's Wichita State, Colorado. The 5-hour Energy Puerto Rico tip-off on ESPN2 and ESPNU on Thursday. Assengale, a tough pass left-handed over the top of the defense to Strickland. Good ball pressure that time by Michelle Woods. Strickland, 4-3, in and out. And the rebound ends up back up top with Strickland, but a foul called against the Lady Vols. And I believe that will go against Tabor Spaney. First on Tabor Spaney, and the 3rd team foul on Tennessee here in the first half. Johnson out of the double team. Couldn't squeeze it through to Mariah Brown. It's a turnover. 6 first half turnovers for the Canes.
Both teams really active, and if you're a ball handler, you better stay away from the sideline on either side and the corners, because both teams are willing and able to trap you there, and the quickness on their rotations, you're going to have a hard time getting out of it.
These have to be 2 of the quicker teams in the country.
From top to bottom, yes. In Miami, Mickey DeMoss joked with Katie Meyer this morning that she watched their game from a year ago and thought the tape was on fast forward, because that's how quick Miami was getting up and down the floor.
Glory Johnson spins, can't hit. Knocked out of bounds. Crowd thought it went off Raquana Williams, but they will rule it out of bounds off Strickland.
Yeah, I think this 1-2-2 just has delayed and disrupted Miami a little bit, made them a little bit hesitant. They're not as free and easy, and it's taken some time off the shot clock. Another
Simmons
turnover.
With the deflection. I've always thought this, no 10 count, obviously, in women's basketball, and only a 30-second shot clock. In my opinion, if I were a coach and I thought I had the personnel to do it, I would press all the time. Because oftentimes it seems like teams are so deliberate to get the ball across the timeline because they don't fear the 10 count, as Strickland leans in, that by the time they set up their offensive sets, there's like 14 on the shot clock.
If you have the athletes that these 2 programs have, I agree with you, Bob. You press all the time. And the 10-second backcourt is something I hope is in women's college basketball's future.
Why wouldn't it be?
It needs to be, and they trialed it in the preseason here in the games this season.
We'll step aside. A 3-point game here in Knoxville.
goes Dwayne's car.
Oh, man.
There goes Dwayne's house. And there goes Dwayne.
Man, that thing does not like Dwayne.
State Farm's got you covered.
Nice landing.
It was.
Get to a better state.
DirecTV Cinema, ordering Hollywood's biggest hits has never been easier.
God bless technology.
God bless it. Simply text movie to 223322 anytime, anywhere from your mobile phone.
That makes things easier, huh?
Then type in the movie you want to watch or choose from a list of the hottest new releases.
Cool, huh?
There's no phone line or broadband connection to your receiver required and no ordering fees.
Now you're talking.
The best of the big screen is only a text away with DirecTV Cinema. Text movie to 223322 today.
Dish Network can claim what they want, but America consistently chooses DirecTV. For the best television experience, DirecTV beats Dish hands down. But don't just take our word for it. Over the last 3 years, for every customer Dish gained, DirecTV gained 8 times more. In fact, more people chose DirecTV last year than all cable and satellite companies combined. Sorry, Dish, 30 million customers can't be wrong. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV.
Welcome back to Knoxville, hometown of the ultimate Hall of Famer, of course, in Pat Summitt. But we have a whole new group of Hall of Famers going in this year in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, led not only by Nikki McCray and Dawn Staley, 2 all-time greats. Robin Roberts going in as a contributor and also had a pretty good collegiate career of her own at Southeastern Louisiana. And Pam McGee, a 2-time national champion at USC as well. And she is on hand, Kara Lawson, tonight to take in 2 top 10 teams going at it.
Had an opportunity to play against both Dawn Staley and Nikki McCray, and well-deserved for what they've done, not just in professional basketball, but collegiate as well.
There's some pretty basketball right there. Raquana Williams to Shanice Johnson, and it's a 1-point game. The Canes have certainly not shrunk from the moment tonight. They feel pretty at home here in Knoxville, it seems. There's a chance for a 3-point play, though, for the freshman.
Ariel Massengale, the freshman point guard, she has such great composure and just speed to her game. She doesn't allow herself to get sped up. She understands the game. And talking with Dean Lockwood yesterday, one of their assistant coaches, he said, feels like she's been on our team for 2 or 3 years. You have to tell her one time to do something, and she does it.
Well, you're a former ball handler for Pat Summitt. Could you imagine being named, as she banks at home, the starter in March while you're still in high school? All of a sudden you pick up the paper and find out, hey, you know what? Next year I'll be starting at Tennessee.
With a team of juniors and seniors, of upperclassmen, and she's being asked to lead, but she has done a tremendous job of picking up the offenses, of passing around the basketball, and just great composure. You can't say enough about her feel for the game and how she distributes the rock.
Nice box out underneath by Uterstrom. And Shanice Johnson traveled. Eight turnovers on Miami here in the first half. We asked Katie Meyer earlier today about the opportunity to play tonight, and that's exactly what she said. It's an opportunity. She actually said she asked the seniors on her team, said, is this the biggest game of your career, going to play Tennessee? And she said, ladies, no, it's not. You've played bigger games. This is just a great stage. It's a great opportunity, and we should embrace it and be excited because of that.
It's a great stage for the Miami program, which has grown leaps and bounds under Katie Meyer, and a great opportunity for people to see Raquana Williams and Shanice Johnson, truly 2 of the best players in the country.
Manning stuck in the corner, shot clock at 5. Massengale creates space, doesn't get the roll. The back tap ends up with Uterstrom. Way outside for Williams. Strong rebound inside and a foul call. That'll go against Glory Johnson, pulling down Shanice Johnson. And Glory Johnson's shaken up. It's the first foul on Glory Johnson, but she went down hard. It was a good call by the officials. She grabbed Shanice Johnson. Let's take another look and see if we can pick up the injury. You can see their arms hook up, and she pulls down Shanice Johnson, but then Shanice Johnson seemed to fall on Glory Johnson's right shoulder.
Well, Shanice Johnson is a terrific rebounder from her position. One of the things she's done already in this first half is really attack the offensive glass. Looked like those two just got tangled up, and you can see how fierce the battle is on the boards. Miami understanding that they really have to stay as close to even as possible in the rebounding battle for them to have a chance to win this game.
It was only the 4th team foul against Tennessee, so it'll be an out of bounds underneath for Miami.
Well, Glory Johnson has had some problems with that left shoulder throughout her career. You see the black kinesio tape on that left shoulder, but it does look like it's her right shoulder that's bothering her right now.
Pick and roll creates a turnover for Tennessee. 9 turnovers now in the first half. Spaney knocks it down. 11 in the first half for Tabor Spaney. Raquana Williams, she'll go to the free throw line.
Miami sets a stagger screen for Yiderstrom and makes a poor decision. That gets Tennessee in transition, and we've talked how Yiderstrom is such a knockdown shooter. Tabor Spaney is a knockdown shooter for Tennessee, and she's done a tremendous job in the offseason, changing her body, working on her weaknesses, trying to become a better defender and a more impact player, working on her right hand, and she's earned that starting nod that she has on the wing and is just a true outside threat for this Tennessee offense.
11 points now for Raquana Williams. It's a 3-point game, 5.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Nice move inside, and using the backboard is Vicky Ball. Double dribble called on Raquana Williams. A reminder, Thursday night, ESPN2 serves up the 2K Sports Classic benefiting Coaches versus Cancer. It's the semifinals at the Garden at 7 Eastern. Texas A&M meets Mississippi State. And then at 9 Eastern, Arizona and St. John's. The 2K Sports Classic benefiting Coaches versus Cancer. The semifinals on ESPN2 Thursday night. Alicia Manning turns and hits. And, you know, we mentioned tonight, obviously, Pat Summitt dealing with early onset dementia. Well, on the men's side, maybe the closest thing, but certainly not nearly as dire a circumstance. But prostate cancer surgery has been overcome by Steve Lavin as he's back now coaching St. John's. Just returned this past week when they hosted Lehigh. And now will be at the Garden to coach the Red Storm as Spaney hits another. Timeout called by Katie Meyer. We'll step aside for 30 seconds and come back to Knoxville as Tennessee has a 7-point lead.
Our two favorite things? Fantasy football and Pizza Hut's $10 any deal. It's a sweet deal.
Speaking of sweet deals, I'll give you Reggie Bush for that pizza.
Done.
Hold up. You just traded me for a pizza? A Pizza Hut Supreme pizza? That was a great trade. Thanks, guys.
What just happened?
Right now, $10 gets you any pizza, any size, any crust, any toppings. Delivery, carryout, or dine-in, only $10. Add Pepsi and breadsticks for $5 more. Only at your Pizza Hut.
Bob Wischusen, Kara Lawson, Holly Rowe back The tip-off marathon presented by Disney Parks here in Knoxville, and Tabor Spaney, the junior, is red hot.
She is on fire right now, Tabor Spaney, with those transition threes, and you wonder if this is the point in the first half where we start to see Miami miss both Stroman and Bullock. They've held the fort down on both ends so far, but Tennessee looks primed to make a run, and Miami cannot call on either of its starting front court players.
And there's an offensive foul on Mariah Brown, undersized and trying to create some space, as you have to put shorter players on the floor in the absence of Stroman and Bullock.
Stroman's so key to this team. There's so much credit and well-deserved credit given to both Williams and Johnson, but Stroman is the glue player for this team. She's their third leading scorer. She's their hustle player and just does a lot in terms of orchestrating this team on the defensive end.
Manning spins baseline, comes up short. Quanah Williams forces one up and gets it to go. 13 in the first half for Williams. Offensive foul on Ariel Massengale. We'll step aside for just a moment. 5-point lead for Tennessee, but we'll talk more about maybe the surprise program in America last year when we come back. This is the SEC on ESPN.
Mom? Dad? Guys?
He'll be fine. More people are leading BMW, Mercedes, and Lexus for Audi than ever before. Take advantage of exceptional values during the Season of Audi event.
No matter what small business you're in, managing expenses seems to get in the way. Not anymore. Inc., the small business card from Chase, introduces John, an on-the-go expense app made exclusively for Inc. customers. Custom categorize your expenses anywhere. Save time and get back to what you love. The latest innovation only for Inc. customers. Learn more at chase.com/Inc.
When's the MRI? She's got something better.
See anything, Doc?
I see everything.
We'll put in a backup. We don't have a backup!
You don't need one.
Italians never need a reason to celebrate. All they need is friends, family, and great food. And now at Carrabba's, you'll find all you need to celebrate with our new champagne chicken or our champagne shrimp and scallops pasta. Here for a limited time. Topped with a signature champagne cream sauce, these great new tastes are hand-prepared using only the freshest ingredients. So come into Carrabba's tonight. Now, purchase $100 in gift cards and get a $20 bonus card free.
Inside the Tip-Off Marathon Studios, I'm Cindy Brunson. She's the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. Rebecca, what jumps out at you in this first half?
Well, you have to be careful. Tennessee can hit threes, especially in transition. That's what Spaney did in the last few possessions. They hit 10 threes in their first game against Pepperdine. Miami wants to get this ball going up and down, get some things out of defensive transition.
More from Rebecca. She's going to tell you who the top 3 teams in the nation are at the half. All that and much more. Kara, Bob, back to you.
Thanks very much. Welcome back to Knoxville, Miami, and Tennessee, and a close one here in the first half. And Kara Lawson, you played at Tennessee, and there's Duke, and there's North Carolina, and Oklahoma, and Baylor, and the teams that we're used to seeing. Miami, last year, literally a top 10 team. They finish in the top 10 of the rankings, and they have established all of a sudden at the snap of a finger a very impressive program.
Absolutely, and the rise of this program has directly coincided with the stay of both Shanice Johnson and Raquana Williams. They have helped Katie Meyer catapult this program into the national consciousness, and this is a great opportunity for them in their senior year to try and get to a Final Four.
Raquana Williams leans in, catches her own miss, can't bank it home. The offensive rebound won't go for Pepper Wilson, but another chance for the Canes and a fresh shot clock. Williams with the left hand gets it to go. 15 in the first half for Williams. Hagen Simmons, a pull-up. Rebound tapped around. Glory Johnson back in the game with the injured shoulder. She's got it, and the follow.
Relentless. Glory Johnson is relentless. She had 13 rebounds in Tennessee's win over Pepperdine this past Sunday, giving Tennessee a much-needed extra opportunity on the offensive glass.
What did Katie Meyer say about Glory Johnson, the best rebounder that I've ever coached against? That jumper knocked down by Shanice Johnson. Glory Johnson straight away. Oh, it's Johnson and Johnson here in Knoxville. With a hand in her face, Raquana Williams, not shy. Keeping it alive, though, Pepper Wilson. Shanice Johnson for three. She's got it. A two-point game with 1:10 to go in the first half. Massengale, a floater. Wilson in the posts, hit the underside of the rim. And Glory Johnson knocks it out of bounds.
Glory Johnson, what makes you a great rebounder? Are you relentless? Do you go after the basketball with a fierce mentality? And Glory Johnson does. And this is something that's really been an inconsistent part of Glory Johnson's game. That's that free throw line jump shot. When she knocks that down, she becomes very difficult to defend because she's so good off the dribble.
Ederstrom for three. That's way short. Rebound run down, though, by Shanice Johnson. Got a 10-second differential between shot clock and game clock, so Katie Meyer tells Shanice Johnson to pull it back out. And she goes to work. The scoop won't go. Wilson kept it alive. Out of bounds, so Tennessee can hold for the final shot of the first half. And the Lady Vols will call the timeout that they can't take with them to the second half. A two-point game. Pat Summitt, of course, the big story tonight, as she will be all year. A public battle with early onset dementia that was diagnosed back in May and revealed to the public in August. And Kara Lawson, as a former player, you did what you could recently along with your husband to try and raise awareness.
Well, we partnered with the Alzheimer's Association and ran the 5K in New York City to try and help raise money. My husband, Damien, he ran the marathon, 26.2 miles, and I've raised up to date over $18,000 for the Alzheimer's Association, and just a great cause. And you look at, there's Damien and Sally Jenkins as well, who co-authored both of Pat Summitt's books and is a great friend of hers. So they're sitting. He's a cute guy sitting up there.
And I would say the thing that I take away from those photos the most is clearly Damien and I, the same workout regimen. Obviously very
We'll have to
similar.
get you one of those purple singlets, Bob. Those running singlets.
But you can see that the cause is being embraced by so many former players, the word being spread. Massengale tries for three. That's no good. As Pat Summitt continues with 3.5 seconds to go here in the first half to be exactly what you would think she would be as a figure, and that is someone that can raise awareness for what she's going through.
And someone that's a motivator for other people that are going through the same thing that she is. The fact that we talked about earlier, her having a game plan, facing this disease head on, has given a lot of inspiration and a lot of courage to other people diagnosed with early onset dementia.
Plenty of time for Raquana Williams to get a good look at the basket, and that's a wild runner that draws a foul. And that will be a shooting foul. Foul's called on Glory Johnson, and not a good one as Raquana Williams. It'll be a two-shot foul. Although they might if they go to the replay monitor, change it to a 3-shot foul. It looked as if she might have been behind the line when she let that one go.
Well, that's just a bad decision by Glory Johnson.
Is she behind the 3-point line here? Nah, no, foot on the line. Good call by Brian Interline.
With her length, she doesn't have to be that close to Raquana Williams to affect that shot. And when you are that close, if there's any body contact, you're going to get the call against you.
So Miami ends the first half on a 13-6 run. And back and forth we went to end up tied at 42.
I think you have to credit Miami and what they did with their 2 starting post players on the bench to close this game to a tie at the half. They certainly grinded it out on the offensive end.
Exactly the game we expected. And let's go over to Holly.
Well, Coach, you're up 28-15 rebounding, but the lead doesn't look that big on the board. What do you got to do different defensively?
Finish the chippies. Finish the chippies. I mean, we got a lot of looks around the basket. I like how we're aggressive. I like our balance. We got to finish the chippies, and then I need them to cool down from the 3. I mean, they are really hot. They're really doing a great job executing and finding their shooters, and so both teams are switching defenses, trying to keep people out of the rhythm, but this is a great women's basketball game.
It really is, and you've had 2 players on the bench for a lot of the first half with 2 fouls. How do you play them in the second half, or how does that help you?
Yeah, I couldn't be more proud of my bench to come in and cover that up, because I'm not used to coaching without Stroman and Bullock. They're huge to what we do, so we make some adjustments at halftime, but gosh, Pepper and then Mariah Brown did a heck of a job for us.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
All right, Holly, thanks very much. Katie Meyer's team hot from 3, as well as Pat Summitt's team hot from 3. We are tied at 42 as we go back to Cindy Brunson. She's with Rebecca Lobo in the studio.
Thanks so much. With that, we welcome you inside the Tip-Off Marathon Studios. I am Cindy Brunson alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo, and we want to let you know what Texas A&M is up to. The defending champs raising the banner. Danielle Adams in the house to get her ring. A&M taking on Louisville. Sydney Carter special.
Hello, Mrs. Carter, the defensive specialist, but she can do that really well, too. Hit the 3.
She had 14. Adrian Pratcher, a 3. Pratcher, a no-look to Carter as well. The Aggies only hit 16.7% from 3, but create separation and win.
Yeah, but that's what you were going to expect. Louisville ranked 10th, but they had 3 of their starters not able to play in this game.
Definitely a team to keep an eye on. That is what we will look forward to throughout the season here in women's college basketball. Tremendous game that we have here between Tennessee and Miami, tied at 42 in the break, and you're impressed by the stars that we're going to see at the next level.
Well, and this has been a pretty well-played game, and it's to be expected because you have so many seniors. But in this game, just in this game, you have 5 players, 5 seniors who are potential top first-round picks in the WNBA draft this coming year. You've got a lot of talent on the floor. They're playing well. So early in the season, there's usually some kind of jitters, but when you have that senior leadership, it definitely helps.
Both teams trying to get to 2-0. Ahead on the halftime report, we're going to shine the light on some State Farm Award Trophy candidates. Who will be the first not named Maya Moore to win the hardware in 4 years? We'll tell you about that in just a bit.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Disney Parks. Don't wait. Let the memories begin. And in part by Audi, truth in engineering.
State Farm, this is Jessica.
Hey, Jessica! Jerry Newman with a policy question.
Jerry, how are you doing?
Fine, I've just got a little fender bender.
Oh, Jerry, I'm so sorry. I would love to help, but remember you dropped us last month.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. It only took 15 minutes to sign up with that new auto insurance company, but it's taken a lot longer to hear back.
Is your car up a pole again?
I miss you, Jessica.
Jerry, are you crying?
No, I bit my tongue.
Get to a better state. State Farm.
Mom? Dad? Guys?
He'll be fine. More people are leading BMW, Mercedes, and Lexus for Audi than ever before. Take advantage of exceptional values during the Season of Audi event.
Everyone deserves the gift of a pain-free holiday.
This season, discover Aleve. All-day pain relief with just 2 pills.
I've seen this before. The old impromptu in-law visit. Dad's a real cleaning machine. And look at Mom whipping up some Kraft home-style mac and cheese. Sure, it's easy to make. Looks like she's been busting her hump in the kitchen. Let the fireworks begin.
Hi, it's so nice to see you.
Something smells good.
Kraft Homestyle Macaroni and Cheese. Cheesy noodles topped with golden brown breadcrumbs. You know you love it.
Welcome back to the Halftime Report. Maya Moore is the only 3-time State Farm Wade Trophy Award winner. But she's doing business in the WNBA, already a champion there with Minnesota. So which player will step up and fill the void as the nation's best player? Trey Wingo introduces us to the State Farm Wade Trophy candidates.
This year's top candidates include Skylar Diggins, Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish floor general, 2011 unanimous first-team All-Big East selection.
Skylar Diggins, airborne, banks it in!
First player in school history with 400 points, 100 assists, and 75 steals twice in a career. Brittany Griner, Baylor, a dominating defensive force. Named 2011 Big 12 Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. Led the NCAA in blocks each of the last 2 seasons.
Say hello to Brittany Griner's right hand.
Shanice Johnson, Miami, the Canes team leader.
Shanice scoops it up and in.
This talented senior was named 2011 ACC Player of the Year. The 2011 WBCA All-American ranks in top 6 for points, rebounds, and steals in her Miami career. Nemkati Agwumakere, Stanford, an imposing post player in the paint.
Once she gets it there, it's over.
A State Farm coach's All-American for the 2nd straight year. This 2-time All-Pac-10 selection led the Cardinal in scoring as well as field goal percentage. Shakina Strickland, Tennessee, the Volunteers' most versatile player. The 2011 SEC Player of the Year has started every game of her career. Led the Lady Vols in points, rebounds, and 3-point field goals last season.
Strickland, the SEC Player of the Year for 3.
Who will be added to this elite group in women's college basketball? Leadership, character, ability, teamwork. Those are the factors that will determine the best women's player in NCAA Division I.
A lot of those players on the nation's top teams. And Rebecca, I want you to tell me who your top 3 teams are in the land.
Well, I'm not going to deviate from who that everyone else is looking at. First off with Baylor and Brittany Griner. This is a player who was dominant in the college game last year. So what did she do in the offseason? Not only played with the national team under coach Gino Auriemma, the only collegiate player on the team, she gained 20 pounds of muscle. She's got Odyssey Sims outside with her hitting the 3-point shot. This is a team that lost one integral player in Melissa Jones, but they are terrific. A really well-coached, good team. And Notre Dame, Skylar Diggins just came on so strong at NCAA tournament last year. Devereaux Peters, one of my favorite players in the college game. Again, they only lost one senior to graduation. This is a team that runs great half-court offense, which you need to do to win the big games. And then third, Tennessee. Again, a great group returning, and I think they added a terrific player in Ariel Massengale. She is going to bring the other players to another level, including Glory Johnson, a 6'3", versatile athlete. We're seeing tonight what they can do, a team that is hungry. This is a senior class that has not been to the Final Four. That doesn't happen very often under Pat Summitt.
Well, a Final Four for the ladies will be in Denver this time for the first time. Do you see all three of those teams making it there?
I think those three are definite favorites. And then after that, you wonder which is going to be the fourth team. Of course, a lot of basketball to be played between now and then. But those teams, what do they have in common? A core group coming back, senior leadership. They don't have a lot of young players that have to learn a new system.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. Thanks so much, Rebecca, for that. We are also keeping an eye on what's happening at Madison Square Garden. Coach K chasing history. It's a game you can see over on ESPN, 7 o'clock.
My husband, Hank, was always fun. Never took life too seriously. Till our son was born. That day, he bought life insurance. Now there's no way I could send our boy to college without it. If there was one thing I could say to Hank, it'd be thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Hank.
Life insurance you can use while you're still living.
You are one lucky lady.
Learn more from your State Farm agent today.
This new AT&T 4G LTE is fast.
Did you hear Sam got promoted to director?
So 12 seconds ago.
We should get him a present.
Thanks for the gift basket.
You're welcome.
You see HR just sent out new
Office rules? Because you're currently in violation of 6 of them.
Oh, yeah, baby?
And 7.
You guys hear that Fred's leaving?
So 30 seconds ago.
We'll miss you.
Oh, face cake.
Some leftover cake.
The new HTC Vivid. Stay a step ahead with AT&T 4G LTE with speeds up to 10 times faster than 3G.
Love your Pandora bracelet.
Oh, thanks. You went to Jared.
The ballet slippers?
I used to dance.
Oh. Suitcase?
Anniversary trip.
Hearts.
It's called the Red Hot Love Bead. Oh, I've said too much.
Celebrate life's unforgettable moments with a fabulous selection of Pandora charms and bracelets at Jared, telling her life story with just a turn of the wrist.
Soccer ball? Soccer mom.
That's why he went to Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry.
Mom? Dad? Guys?
He'll be fine. More people are leading BMW, Mercedes, and Lexus for Audi than ever before. Take advantage of exceptional values during the Season of Audi event.
Look, the well is providing clean water for the village. But there are several villages nearby that could use our new system.
Introducing GoToMeeting with HD Faces. Simple, high-definition group video conferencing that will change the way you work. And perhaps a whole lot more. Visit GoToMeeting.com and sign up for your free 30-day trial.
Welcome back to the Halftime Report. A reminder, after Tennessee-Miami, it is Jared Sullinger and his Ohio State Buckeyes taking on Florida. Buckeyes putting a 23-game home win streak on the line. That game following ours on the Tip-Off Marathon. Want to let you know what happened between San Diego State and number 12 Baylor Aztecs. Dropping to 1-12 in their last 13 games against non-conference ranked oppositions. Freshman Quincy Miller getting a bucket to go. Baylor up early, and then the second half, Quincy AC. Look out below. Terry Jones and company digging it. AC had 13. And as the game winds down, Anthony Jones winds up. Wow, he had 11. Baylor wins with ease, 77-67. Well, Tabor Spaney leads the Lady Vols with 13 points, but we've got a tie ball game. Drama in half number 2. Stick and stay.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Disney Parks. Don't wait. Let the memories begin. And in part by Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance.
See you at work.
The Infinity Limited Engagement Winter Event. Come in now for our best offers of the year. Lease an Infinity G sedan for only $299 a month.
Can a trading site help make you a sharper trader? Mine can.
TD Ameritrade can.
They've got trading specialists I can call for help.
And paper trading.
Free practice trading that helps me hone my technique.
Complex options.
And free tutorials, online or in person.
Can a trading site really make a difference?
If it can't, why are you trading there?
#1 in online equity trades, TD Ameritrade.
Trade commission-free for 60 days. Plus, get up to $600 when you open an account.
The SEC Digital Network. 8 supercharged channels that put the fan experience into Internet overdrive. Find schedules, stats, and more. Download full games and videos on demand. Hear from league insiders. Explore SEC mobile apps. See the new SEC Smart TV. Get gear at the online store. See hometown heroes in action. And plug in live to Game Day Central. Get it all at secdigitalnetwork.com.
I love it. Do you have financing? Absolutely. We have great rates.
Let's go ahead and check your 3 credit scores.
3 credit scores? Did you know everyone has 3 credit scores? And just one bad credit score can ruin everything.
That's going to be a problem.
So see all 3 of your credit scores now at freescore.com. Unlike other services that give you only 1 score, freescore.com shows your scores from all 3 credit bureaus for free. That's important, because just one bad score can cause you to be rejected for credit and financing, or pay higher interest rates. So get all 3 scores at freescore.com, plus unlimited access to your complete credit profile, 24/7 credit alerts, and the easiest way to spot inaccuracies.
Enjoy your new TV.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Get your 3 credit scores today for free at freescore.com.
Free score! Freescore.com!
You're watching ESPN's Tip-Off Marathon, presented by Disney Parks.
Coach has long been her title, but teaching has been her trade. Instilling values, building character, leading, guiding, pushing, prodding, getting the most out of her players by insisting they demand the most of themselves. That has been her true calling, and she has answered it by winning year after year.
This is the SEC on ESPN. As we welcome you back to the State Farm Tip-Off Classic, part of the Tip-Off Marathon presented by Disney Parks. Todd, as we start the second half, Bob Wischusen alongside Kara Lawson, and we'll be joined again by Holly Rowe in a moment. Your thoughts as you now see Pat Summitt back on the sideline. I know you talked about your impact, or the impact on you, when you heard about the diagnosis of early onset dementia, but now she's back kind of in her home office.
She's back in her home office, and I know that there's one thing that she was irate about at halftime, and that's the rebound differential. It's one thing that hurts Coach Summitt to the core. It's when her team is out-rebounded, and Miami got 11 offensive boards in that first half, and that was the difference for them to stay in the game offensively. And for Tennessee, they forced 11 turnovers, so their defense was very active, and they had Miami out of rhythm for a good stretch of that first half.
Our first half stats presented by State Farm. Last year, Tennessee averaged about a 12.5 rebound differential over their opponents for the season. They were out-rebounded by 13 in the first half alone by Miami. All right, Corey Johnson gets the steal to start off things here in the second half.
A different starting lineup for Tennessee to come out here in the second half. Shekinna Strickland replaced by Megan Simmons here on the wing.
The left-handed scoop goes down for Vicky Baugh. And they'll say there was a foul underneath the basket in addition to scoring the goal. And that might be on Morgan Stroman. Well, Holly Rowe caught up with Coach Summitt at halftime. Holly?
Well, Coach had a good sense of humor when she said, are we going to play any defense tonight? She's frustrated with their defensive effort, but more importantly, guys, she has pulled her senior Shekinna Strickland, who had 3 points, 3 rebounds in that first half. She sat her to start the second half, sending a message they've got to do a better job on the boards and defensively. Megan Simmons started this second half.
And Holly, already a substitution now for Katie Meyer as well, as she has to pull out Morgan Stroman. And Simmons hits a 3, so things go from bad to worse for Miami, a 5-point lead. Simmons has 11, and Stroman picked up the cheap foul underneath the basket. That's her third, so she's right back on the bench. Doesn't even play 30 seconds to start the second half. Strength to pull away that offensive rebound by Raquana Williams, but she can't hit inside. Massengale gives it up. Glory Johnson finishes.
Point guard play is what Ariel Massengale brings, and you see her get the steal right here. It's what the Tennessee team has lacked. She already has 9 assists in the game. She had 8 in the first half, and she just has a tremendous court presence. She understands when to shoot the basketball, who to get the ball in transition, find her shooters on the wing, whether it's Simmons or Spaney. And then on the defensive end, the coaches told us at shoot-around, she's perhaps their best on-ball defender. So this is a mature young woman with a mature game that has really changed the course of this Tennessee team with her presence.
What's even more impressive, maybe, is that not only is she a freshman that runs this team, but she suffered a concussion in practice on the 10th of October and was out until Halloween. So for a freshman, she basically didn't even practice with this team all the way up past Midnight Madness and through about a week before the season started, and yet she's out here with 9 assists. Peterstrom gives up what could have been a layup. Shanice Johnson can't hit. Massengale coast to coast. Too strong. Peterstrom for 3. Offensive rebound inside, plus the foul for Pepper Wilson.
Miami needed that, and the offensive glass has been very kind to Miami. Pepper Wilson already with double-digit rebounds in the game. Offensive glass and her ability to finish those, that's really been the point of emphasis for Miami coming into the second half. Finish the chippies, as Katie Meyer talked about in her interview, and that can help them cut into this lead by Tennessee.
Massengale with no one underneath, knocks down a 3 anyway.
She's terrific. Ariel Massengale is absolutely terrific. She has a great sense to change momentum in the game.
Simmons, great read in the intercept, tried to go behind the back and lost the ball. A tie-up, and it will stay with Tennessee. With more on the freshman, here's Holly Rowe.
Well, Ariel Massengale very famously was called the starting point guard for Tennessee while she was still in high school when Pat was frustrated during March Madness. She said, you know, I was still in high school, I was during the playoffs, and somebody showed me an article that Coach said that, and I couldn't believe it. But she said, Coach Pat called me afterwards, and she said, now listen, you're going to have to earn it. I said that, but you're still going to have to come in here and compete. She said she's done that, she's taken it to heart, and guys, not only is she their best on-ball defender, but they say she's like a junior out there. She's one of their smartest players already.
Well, one of the things about Ariel Massengale that makes her special and makes her appreciated is in an exhibition game, she pulled the basketball out, put it on her hip, and called a play. And the Thompson-Boling Arena crowd gave her a standing ovation because it's been 3 years since this team has had a point guard, someone to direct the offense, someone to execute in the half court. That's how knowledgeable this fan base is, and they are overjoyed that they have somebody that has court sense like Ariel Massengale does.
She gives it up. Spaney can't hit, though. That was almost assist number 10 for Massengale. Brown left alone inside, turns and hits. Nice find by Raquana Williams. Ball picks up the dribble in the backcourt. Spaney comes to help. Tough runner. It goes, plus the foul.
One of the things Tabor Spaney really worked on in the offense is her ability to penetrate and finish. We've seen her prowess from beyond the three-point line, but when players challenge her defensively and get up into her grill, what can she do? And she's proven that that's an improved area for her on the offensive end.
Offensive rebound for Glory Johnson. Another offensive rebound, that time by Ball. Simmons gives Tennessee their largest lead. Timeout, Miami. Thompson Bowling Arena is alive.
ESPN Monday Night Football. Chiefs Patriots at 8:30.
Aaron, you're all set? Great, thanks.
Mike, thanks for doing that discount double check. You saved us hundreds.
What was that? The discount double check? It's when we comb through your policies to make sure that you're getting all the discounts you deserve. No, I get that part, but you guys are doing my move.
The discount double check move?
It's my touchdown dance.
So you're a dancer?
No, I'm a quarterback.
Oh, quarterback.
More.
I'm a robot. Get out of here.
Aaron Rodgers got his. How about you?
Rodgers! Discount double check!
Get to a better state. State Farm.
Heads up, Dave.
Get your friends.
Heads up, Jim.
The Infiniti Limited Engagement Winter Event. Right now, lease an Infiniti G sedan for only $299 a month.
The following Rockwell power tool may cause excessive remodeling. Wait until you get your hands on the Rockwell Sonic Crafter, the all-in-one power tool that does it all. With its microsonic oscillation technology, it cuts, sands, grinds, scrapes, rasps, cleans, polishes, and impresses without ever switching tools. I'm overwhelmed just telling you about it. You can grow 5 more arms, or you can get the 7-in-1 Sonic Crafter.
We asked her what we could do for her, and she said, just go out there and win that Nike championship. And so since then, that's been in my mind every day.
She deserves it so much. She, does everything that she could for her players on and off the court. And I don't even think she wants it for her. She definitely just wants this team to get it.
Well, the Chancellor of Tennessee, Jimmy Cheek, said, "You are now and will always be our coach," when Pat Summitt revealed the early onset dementia diagnosis, and the players are responding, at least tonight so far.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you look at just the cohesiveness of this group. It's different than what we've seen the past few years of Tennessee teams. And, I attribute that resurgence to having a true point guard, but also having someone like Vicky Ball, who's a fifth-year senior, who has championship experience, and just the veteran presence that she brings.
Another turnover for Miami. Since 2008 in the NCAA tournament. Now this, an Elite 8, a Sweet 16, for most programs that would be fine. Not for the Lady Vols.
This has been a disappointing senior class. There's no question. A lot of historical firsts, and not in a good way. And they have an opportunity this year to go to their first Final Four. They do not want to be the first class to graduate here at Tennessee without being a part of a Final Four and having a Final Four experience, and that is the motivation for these 5 seniors to try and get to the Final Four and win a national championship.
Lori Johnson is one of those seniors, and she helps build a 14-point lead for Tennessee. An offensive foul called on Shanice Johnson as well. Tennessee starting to pull away. This is the SEC on ESPN.
There goes Dwayne's car. Oh, man. There goes Dwayne's house. And there goes Dwayne.
Man, that thing does not like Dwayne.
State Farm's got you covered.
Nice landing.
It was.
Get to a better state.
The Super Bowl, the most epic day in America. And the end of a journey that began here. when the swipe of a Visa card gave one man a chance to bring happiness to 10 friends and humiliation to one.
If you want this ticket, I need you to wear this helmet. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Use your Visa card for a chance to win. To see more of the story, visit our Facebook page.
The Infiniti Limited Engagement Winter Event. Right now, lease an Infiniti G sedan for only $299 a month.
Look, the well is providing clean water for the village. But there are several villages nearby that could use our new system.
Introducing GoToMeeting with HD Faces. Simple, high-definition group video conferencing that will change the way you work. And perhaps a whole lot more. Visit GoToMeeting.com and sign up for your free 30-day trial.
With this studio update, I'm Cindy Brunson. Right now on ESPN, it's number 6 Duke taking on Michigan State. Andre Dawkins with the steal and the finish. Duke up 3. Coach K chasing win number 903. Elsewhere, Syracuse on top of Albany 20-16. Bob Cara, back to you.
Thanks very much as we welcome you back to Knoxville. Well, there's a reason they call this court the Summit, and that number, I guess, speaks for itself.
A lot of wins, a lot of teams, a lot of players, and Pat Summitt just as excited about this group as she has been any group. An opportunity with a team, and she talked about how she wakes up every day excited to go and coach this team and be around the game of basketball.
Nice ball movement. That freshman jumper won't go for Crystal Saunders. An offensive rebound, but a foul drawn. Morgan Stroman will go to the free throw line, and Miami trying to stay in the game. Holly Rowe's been listening into their huddle. Holly?
Well, that's right. Katie Meyer starting to sense it slipping away. She called her team over and said, look, they're on a 16-4 run, guys. We are making poor decision after poor decision. Right now, we've got to get up some great shots. She said, any guards that are in there, I want you to start running stuff for Mo. That's Shanice Johnson. And then she looked at Shanice and said, listen, you got to quit passing the ball. Right now, I need you to be a scorer. Quit passing the ball, honey.
Well, Holly, coming into tonight, she's been in double figures 71 consecutive times. So there's no question, if you're going to win on the road against Tennessee, your best players have to score.
Absolutely, and as critical a moment in this game, you can tell by what coaches do, and Katie Meyer inserts Stroman into the game with 3 fouls, still relatively early in the second half. She senses that this is a pivotal point, and she cannot let Tennessee put too much distance between her team.
Lori Johnson and Vicky Ball both have 4 fouls apiece, so they're both on the Tennessee bench, or rather 3 fouls apiece, pardon me. So they're both on the Tennessee bench as Simmons a little too strong. Offensive rebound. Isabella Harrison lost it out of bounds, though. Welcome to hour 20 of the College Hoops Tip-Off Marathon on ESPN and ESPN2. This is the State Farm Tip-Off Classic, all part of the Tip-Off Marathon presented by Disney Parks. Bob Wischusen, Kara Lawson, Holly Rowe in Knoxville. This has been an impossible place for opponents to win normally, but Miami had it tied at 42 at the half, trying to get back in the game against Tennessee here in the second half. Shot clock down to 4, leaning in. One-hander goes for Shanice Johnson. Back to a 10-point lead. Press break. Shekinah Strickland plus the foul. Sylvia Bullock called for the foul.
Well, Shanice Johnson is a special player, and one of the reasons she's special is she can make these high degree of difficulty shots. But what does that do? It allows Miami to set a press, and Tennessee doing a perfect job with their press breaker of getting the ball to the middle of the floor to their point guard. And we have a Shekinah Strickland sighting. After pretty much being very inconsistent and a no-show in the first half, she comes in off the bench here in the second half and gives them some offensive output.
Well, Shanice Johnson was the ACC Player of the Year last year. Shekinah Strickland, the SEC Player of the Year last year. Here's Johnson with her team down by 13, trying a three. There's the SEC Player of the Year pulling down the rebound. Spaney fouled by Shanice Johnson. A reminder, Thursday, the Puerto Rico tip-off continues with games on ESPN2 and ESPNU at 5 Eastern. On ESPN2, it's Maryland and Alabama, and then at 7:30 Eastern on ESPNU, Wichita State and Colorado. The 5-hour Energy Puerto Rico tip-off on ESPN2 and ESPNU Thursday.
Mark Turgeon in his maiden voyage as a coach of the Terps. It'll be interesting to see how he fares in the ACC.
That foul on Shanice Johnson, her second, and the team's 6th. Harrison up and under, but they will call her for too many steps. So Tennessee will shoot free throws for the rest of the game already. The U with 6 fouls in the first 6 minutes here in the second half. Connor Williams down the lane, floats one up, comes up short. Megan Simmons outlets to Massengill. She comes up short as well. Starts to get sloppy as Michelle Woods turns it over.
How many of these turnovers by Miami have been unforced? Unforced by the Tennessee defense. Katie Meyer has to be over there pulling her hair out because they're getting the pace that they want, they're getting the numbers that they want, and they haven't had the ability to capitalize in the fast break.
They're averaging about a turnover every 90 seconds. As Strickland hits a three. And now it is Tennessee's largest lead, up to 16, 9 for Strickland. Williams thought about trying to answer, drives it instead, and can't get it to go. Offensive rebound for Shanice Johnson. Out of bounds off Tennessee.
Well, Shekinna Strickland has such a unique skill set. She's got great ability to shoot from deep. You see it there. The thing that sometimes is maddening about her game is that she teases you with the talent that she has, and sometimes she's inconsistent as she was in the first half. But she's had a nice bounce back here early in the second half.
Mariah Brown got lost underneath. Great hustle in the backcourt by McGuire to take it away. Plus the foul. Oh, there's a turnaround. Soraya McGuire, who had barely played so far, a chance for a three-point play after she gets the steal.
A spark. That's all Miami needed, was a spark. And Ariel Massengale does a good job usually of position defense, and it looked like she might have had a case for being there, but what Miami needs right now is to score, because when they score, they can set their defense, they can set their press, and it puts everybody in an advantageous position on the defensive end.
Backcourt violation. Spaney stepped in the backcourt. So back-to-back turnovers by the Lady Vols, and a chance for Miami to make it a single-digit lead once again. Pat Summitt calls a timeout. We'll step aside for 30 seconds as Miami tries to draw closer.
My sister's new boyfriend told her that he thinks Sundays are just for watching football. Believe that?
Remain calm. Answering incorrectly has... But I just... consequences. But you're smart, right? You ordered off McDonald's dollar menu at breakfast, got the premium roast coffee, the savory sausage burrito, everything so good and just $1 each. You made it happen, so you got this.
He's a jerk.
Well played. McDonald's dollar menu at breakfast, the simple joy of being smart.
Let's take a look at our State of Success, brought to you by State Farm, and these are two programs. Obviously, historically, Pat Summitt, Carol Lawson experiencing a lot of success. You were a part of that, but recent success last year for UM.
when you look at Miami and you look at this group, they went from worst to first. So they had 2 wins in the ACC 2 seasons ago. And then last year, they tied for the conference championship. And it's just been a revival of sorts for this Miami program. And Shanice Johnson and Raquana Williams have been the principal pieces in this resurgence.
Shot clock under 10. Skip pass to Raquana Williams. Shot clock at 4. Johnson in the lane, finds the soft underbelly of that zone, and gets about an 8-footer to go.
Now, that was a nice look there by Raquana Williams. It looked like she was in trouble on the wing with 2 players.
Massengale loses control. Somehow is able to gather, although it looked as if she might have traveled. Spaney to Simmons on the baseline. She turns it over. Soraya McGuire. Williams fades away. Gets the bounce. Back come the Canes.
How about the injection of energy by Soraya McGuire at the top of that zone? You see her right there, number 33. She has really, really energized this Miami team on the defensive end.
That might not be the ball handler that Pat Summitt wants to look up and see, trying to go coast to coast. Trying to answer was Raquana Williams, and Simmons gets trapped in the corner. She might have to call a timeout, and I think one of her teammates did. So the Lady Vols down to 2 timeouts remaining, as this game has become a little bit haggard with 11:23 to go.
It's all of a sudden become an adventure for Tennessee to get the basketball across the mid-court line.
Kara, it seems as though the uglier the game gets, though, the more it plays into Miami being able to draw closer. It seems like if they can get this game to be a little ugly and up and down, that might play in their favor.
They're a team that gains a lot of confidence in forcing turnovers. Steals are a staple of what they do, and that allows them to play the offensive game in transition, which is where they're at their best.
Well, there's a lot of talent on the floor, and there's some talent evaluators here in Knoxville.
That's my coach, Mike Tebow, Connecticut Sun head coach.
He knows talent.
Yeah, he knows talent. That's Coach Maddox, who's one of our assistant coaches. Cheryl Reeve, the coach of the 2011 WNBA champion Minnesota Lynx, and then Dan Hughes, who's the coach of the San Antonio Silver Stars. You have a potential of 5 players playing in this game to be selected in the first round of the WNBA draft in 2012, and you can bet there's quite a few coaches and GMs at home watching this game as well. You'd love to see when great talent goes head-to-head.
Miami with a 9-0 run over the last 2+ minutes. Strickland can't break the run. Lori Johnson can, though, with an offensive rebound. Raquana Williams forces the action the other way, and a chance for a 3-point play. How about that drive?
Raquana Williams, and I think sometimes she settles for jump shots. I think she doesn't do this enough, but Raquana Williams has great body control and great strength, and she dips that shoulder, creates the contact, and Miami is right back in this ball game.
Some people just know how to build things well. Give you and your loved ones an expertly engineered Mercedes-Benz at the winter event going on now. But hurry, the offer ends soon.
ESPN, how can I help you? John Anderson is at extension 5634. There you go. Oh, Stan, got a message for you. Production meeting, 2 o'clock.
This weekend, the top 2 teams in college football go on the road on ESPN. Oklahoma State, Iowa State, Friday at 8. And LSU Ole Miss, Saturday at 7. College football lives here.
Let's ring you up.
Mary? What are you doing here?
It's Megan. I'm getting new insurance.
Marjorie, you've had a policy with us for 3 years.
It's been 5 years.
5 years.
Well, Progressive gives Megan discounts that you guys didn't.
Paperless, safe driver, and I get great service.
Meredith, what's shaking, bacon?
They'll figure it out.
Getting you the discounts you deserve. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
I'm gonna grab some more munchies. Be back in a sec. Cool.
What's up, Clay Matthews? You want a piece of me?
This ain't over, punk. Whoa, I see you met my Clay Matthews fathead.
Real big fathead. Get yours at fathead.com.
In studio with this update, I'm Cindy Brunson. Right now on ESPN, number 6 Duke taking on Michigan State at Madison Square Garden. Keith Appling gets the 3 to go, and the Spartans have the 4-point lead with 12 minutes to play in the first half. Bob, Kara, back to you.
All right, Cindy, thanks very much. It has been a high pace that we've had all night here in Knoxville as well. A high-scoring game as a result also. And the helter-skelter pace seems to be playing to Katie Myers and Miami's favor, as now Raquana Williams has a chance, if she can complete the 3-point play, to take what once was a 16-point lead and get it all the way down to 68-62.
Great teams answer runs, particularly on the road. Miami knew coming in here that Tennessee was going to have points in the game where they went on runs, and Miami has answered that run. They're still down 6, but they have found a rhythm to their game now.
Harrison missed everything, and it's out of bounds off the Lady Vols. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, in that last huddle, Pat Summitt was fired up. Her Steely glare, she came over and said, I need everybody on the offensive glass right now. I need everybody to be passionate about being there. And then stop taking the shots Miami wants you to take. Take the shots you want. Don't let them fluster you into decisions.
You think that's what has been happening, Kara?
I think there's been questionable shot selection, yes, the last couple of times down the court for Tennessee. But I think it's just been the presence of Tennessee on the offensive end. It's changed. They're much less confident.
Simmons, tough catch for Glory Johnson. And she'll go to the free throw line. Almost a 3-point play. That was a tough reception to make, but soft hands for Glory Johnson. And she will shoot 2.
And you wonder how long Ariel Massengale is going to sit on the bench. This is probably where she gets her rest, where she gets an opportunity to get a blow, and they put her back in for the duration of the game. But with Miami pressing and Tennessee having so much trouble getting across that midcourt line, you have to think this will be a short break for the freshman.
Massengale had 8 assists in the first half, only 1 assist so far in the second half. And that might draw that steely glare that Holly was talking about. I'm sure that was never a look that you ever saw, though, right? I mean, 4 years here.
Maybe once or twice. I can't even remember if it ever happened to me, but not very often. Of course not.
1-2 at the line for Glory Johnson. 7-point advantage for the Lady Vols. McGuire picks up her dribble, gets it back as Strickland knocked it away. Ball movement to the corner. Niederstrom in and out. Tapped around. Shanice Johnson ends up with the ball, but also ends up getting called for the foul. Third foul. And they're going to call Crystal Saunders for that foul.
She's not even in the game.
Yeah, Shanice Johnson. Yeah. Shanice Johnson called for the foul. That's her third.
I'm sure Katie Meyer would like for Crystal Saunders.
Yeah, no question. But with Miami over the limit now at 18 fouls, Tabor Spaney goes to the free throw line and hits the front end of the 1-and-1. Midway through the second half. Crossover by Johnson. McGuire's drive feeds Wilson. And a reach-in will be called on Shakina Strickland. That's her second. Only the 6th team foul called against Tennessee, though. So that's their last foul to give. It'll be an out-of-bounds underneath for Miami.
I'll tell you, that was really a high-level play there by Shanice Johnson. She rejected the screen there on the side and just really goaded that player in Shakina Strickland and found the open McGuire in the corner there to set up that offensive play.
Johnson stuffs it home. That was a pretty move by Shanice Johnson. Spaney left alone for three. And it's out of bounds off Strickland.
Oh, Shanice Johnson has tremendous one-on-one ability, and it's just a mismatch with Tabor Spaney guarding her. Her dad surprising her at this game. Look at that shirt. I love it. Give me some Mo. That's Shanice Johnson's nickname, Mo.
Glory Johnson with the steal. Cruises in, misses the layup. No, it does fall in. And the elbow that Glory Johnson inadvertently throws hit Stephanie Yiderstrom as she was trying to come back and defend. An inadvertent elbow. Now, as inadvertent as this was, is there a chance this should have been called a foul?
Well, let's take a look here. Looked initially like an elbow, but then it looked like the hand to the face as she's reaching back, which is what took the greatest toll there on Yiderstrom.
So the officials can go to the monitor to review whether or not an elbow was thrown. And as we saw in our replay, that would not be an elbow foul.
Player safety being a point of emphasis this year. They do have that ability to go to the monitor. Looked more like an open hand than an elbow from Glory Johnson.
Stephanie Yiderstrom still has to shake it off. One more look. Now that is obviously accidental contact, but can you make an argument that that should have been a foul on Glory Johnson?
It's the second one here, and it looks to me like it's within the running motion. And there can be incidental contact above the shoulders that is not called a foul. Just because an elbow occurs above the shoulders doesn't automatically mean that the referees will call it a foul.
And I think they're going to call it incidental contact.
And that's the way they're going to go. Yep.
Yeah, they're just going to call the players back out on the floor. No additional foul call made.
It's not an automatic. Just because there's contact above the shoulders doesn't mean it's automatic. The referees have the opportunity and have the ability to look at the monitor and rule it incidental. And I think that's the right call there.
Wilson, bad pass. Strickland, an easy steal. Simmons for three. In and out. Wide open on the wing. Knocking down a long two is Morgan Stroman. 6 points for Stroman. Now lead down to 7 again. Ball out of a triple team. Throws it away. Miami very much in the basketball game with 7:50 to go here in Knoxville.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. And Mercedes-Benz. Experience truly great engineering today at your authorized dealer.
State Farm, this is Jessica.
Hey, Jessica! Jerry Newman with a policy question.
Jerry, how are you doing?
Fine, I just got a little fender bender.
Oh, Jerry, I'm so sorry. I would love to help, but remember you dropped us last month.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. It only took 15 minutes to sign up with that new auto insurance company, but it's taken a lot longer to hear back.
Is your car up a pole again?
I miss you, Jessica.
Jerry, are you crying?
No, I bit my tongue.
Get to a better state. State Farm. If you think Tylenol is the pain reliever orthopedic doctors recommend most for arthritis pain, think again and take Aleve. It's the one doctors recommend most for arthritis pain. 2 pills can last all day.
Look, the well is providing clean water for the village. But there are several villages nearby that could use our new system.
Introducing GoToMeeting with HD Faces. Simple, high-definition group video conferencing that will change the way you work. And perhaps a whole lot more. Visit GoToMeeting.com and sign up for your free 30-day trial.
Monday, the first-place Patriots look to stay atop the AFC East as Tom Brady leads his top-ranked passing attack, featuring Wes Welker and Rob Gronkowski against the Chiefs. ESPN Monday Night Football. Chiefs-Patriots at 8:30.
I said I'd probably coach for 3 more years and then go to the beach or hang out here with the dogs or do whatever. But it's very important that we get at least 1 more championship, and I would hope more than that. But I think we've got a good chance this year, and so I want to be right there with this team.
Welcome back to Knoxville, where the Lady Vols are up 73-66 over Miami. Once Pat Summitt made the announcement that she was suffering from this disease, she's had all kinds of people reach out to her, but maybe none more poignant than Nancy Reagan, her own husband, President Ronald Reagan, suffering from Alzheimer's. A very sweet letter that she wrote, guys, saying, "When I heard your story, I just couldn't help but write this letter." She said, "You've handled everything with such grace and dignity all these years. I know you'll do the same with this. And I hope with all the new treatments and things that are available that you'll have many good years to come." And Pat Summitt said, ironically, 2 weeks before her diagnosis, she was on the treadmill watching a biography on the History Channel. It was about Ronald Reagan and how he went public with his Alzheimer's. And in large part, that's one of the reasons she went public, is she felt it was for the greater good.
Interesting, Holly. And Kara, it will be for the greater good to have a figure like Pat Summitt dealing with this in the public eye. As Shanice Johnson banks one home. Nearly 5 million people in America deal with Alzheimer's, and Pat Summitt knows that she can be an agent of good here.
Absolutely, Bob, and almost 3.5 million are women. And this is an opportunity that Coach Summitt has to show that you don't have to sit back and just wait for the disease to take over. You stand up and you fight, and you still continue to do what you have a great passion to do in life. And for Coach Summitt, that's coaching the Tennessee program and helping develop young girls into young women.
She has watched her team's 16-point lead get sliced all the way down to 5 with 6:45 to go. 10 seconds to shoot for the Lady Vols. To shoot. Massengale. There's some contact. That doesn't hit the rim. It's out of bounds off Miami. But 4 seconds on the shot clock. Sylvia Bullock comes back in the game for Miami as she will replace Pepper Wilson. And now the Lady Vols answer with Megan Simmons, who is instant offense. Massengale sits down. Three goes down for Spaney.
That's a huge three. Tabor Spaney recognizing shot clock, a nice step back three, and Tennessee looked really confused on that offensive possession. They make the switch, and Tabor Spaney makes them pay.
Spaney with 20, the game's high scorer. Shot clock at 10 for Miami. Laquana Williams with the shot clock down to 5. Hands one off. Johnson's going to have to force one up. And that's an air ball. It'll be a shot clock violation. Well, this is a dagger from Tabor Spaney at the other end.
Well, you look at Tabor Spaney, the short shot clock. She's got the bigger Stroman on her, creates enough space for her to get the shot off. She has been lethal from beyond the arc, and both teams getting themselves into short shot clock situations. Miami, I think, has to do a better job of creating penetration earlier in the shot clock against Tennessee's zone.
Strickland pulls up. Offensive rebound by Harrison. And the follow is good. And it's back to a double-digit lead. Williams drives the baseline, too strong. Harrison the rebound, numbers for the Lady Vols. Harrison coast to coast, and she'll go to the free throw line. I think Brianna Bass, who's a point guard, liked seeing the big girl try and handle it from coast to coast. That draws a couple of smiles from the Tennessee Lady Vol sideline. Tabor Spaney is the game's highest scorer with 20.
She's been so clutch for this team on the offensive end. She worked really hard in the offseason to become a more well-rounded offensive player. Now, we've seen a steady diet of those long three-point jump shots, which Tabor Spaney is known for, but how about the confidence that this junior plays with now? She has turned herself into an all-around player, one of the team captains. You see that 4 for 7 from beyond the arc. Tabor Spaney had an exhibition game where she was 7 for 10 from beyond the arc. You see that elbow sleeve that she wears. She had a minor elbow surgery to remove some scar tissue there in the preseason. I don't think it's affected her jump shot one bit.
Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, we've remarked so much about the change to her body. She's just transformed herself. And she said the biggest reason is finally this offseason she was healthy. She's had foot problems the last couple of years. She's never gone through a full season of the strength and conditioning program. And more than that, she hasn't been out on the floor with her teammates in the offseason. She said that building the chemistry has been the biggest thing. She's a completely different player so far this preseason.
And with the help of the free throws from Lizzie Harrison, it's a 12-point lead and another Miami turnover and another unforced error. Like you pointed out earlier, you're up to 21 turnovers now for Miami, and far too many of them have been careless.
Absolutely. It's one thing you cannot do when you go on the road in this type of environment against a top 5 team is give them 21 extra opportunities to score the basketball.
Strickland creates space and scores. Shot clock under 10. Shanice Johnson, double team with the shot clock at 5. Launches a 3. Hit the backboard first, and the long rebound ends up with Spaney. Home run pass to Simmons. A moment ago, Miami had seen Tennessee equal their largest lead at 16. How many times, though, Kara Lawson, can Miami take a punch, and can we expect them to counterpunch? Do they have one more push in them with 3:45 to go?
They're running out of time, and to me, that counterpunch is going to come.
Strickland slides in and scores again.
Tennessee has figured out the code. They've figured out the key to breaking Miami's pressure right now, and they have a lot of confidence coming with their wing players.
Maybe a little overly aggressive with Strickland on the foul. 1-1 for Miami when we come back. But Shekinah Strickland has been a force in the second half.
My husband, Hank, was always fun. Never took life too seriously. Till our son was born. That day, he bought life insurance. Now there's no way I could send our boy to college without it. If there was one thing I could say to Hank, it'd be thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Hank.
Life insurance you can use while you're still living.
You are one lucky lady.
Learn more from your State Farm agent today.
Oh, what fun it is to ride. Get the Mercedes-Benz on your wish list at the winter event going on now. But hurry, the offer ends soon.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Today, the City of Charlotte can use Verizon technology to inspire businesses to conserve energy and monitor costs, making communities greener.
Congratulations.
And buildings as valuable to the bottom line as the people inside them.
Congratulations.
Because when you add Verizon to your company, you don't just add, you multiply. Verizon.
The rejuvenated Ducks and Sooners are back in the title hunt, but need impressive conference wins to keep their chances alive. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines, USC Oregon or Oklahoma Baylor. Saturday at 8 on ABC or ESPN3. College football lives here.
The Buckeyes roll out super sleek player of the year candidate Jared Sullinger. The big guy even better than a year ago, but number 8 Florida will test that theory in a clash of top 10 teams as the marathon heads toward the finish. Now back to Bob Wischusen.
All right, Dave O'Brien, thanks very much. The tip-off marathon presented by Disney Parks. That should be a good one. Coming up next, what a great early season test at home as well for the Buckeyes to host the Gators.
Absolutely, and you know I'm partial to point guards, and Ohio State has a really good one in Aaron Kraft.
He was their 6th man last year. And Pat Summitt also has a terrific young point guard in Ariel Massengale, who as a freshman is the starter this year, but
she's been on the bench for this latest run, and you have to credit Megan Simmons doing a tremendous job at the point guard position here, and really the entire Tennessee team figuring out how to break that pressure and just getting layups on the back end of that Miami press.
1 of 2 at the line, but a chance as Soraya McGuire can't hit the back end of the 1-and-1 for a better than a 2-point play and a 2-point trip for Miami.
You take a look at what Miami has done the last few possessions offensively, and the ball has just rotated around the perimeter. They have to get one of their players in to penetrate the basketball against this zone. If they just pass it around the perimeter, they're going to end up taking a contested long 3 at the end of the shot clock.
Maybe more of a sense of urgency as well. A kick ball on the loose ball by Tennessee. So it is going to stay with Miami. And again, Thursday night, ESPN2 serves up the 2K Sports Classic benefiting Coaches versus Cancer. Semifinals in New York at 7 Eastern. A&M and Mississippi State. And at 9 Eastern, St. John's with Steve Lavin back on the sideline will take on Arizona. The 2K Sports Classic benefiting Coaches versus Cancer on ESPN2 Thursday night.
How about Sean Miller doing a nice job early on with the Wildcats? He loses Derek Williams, loses Lamont Jones, and
shot clock at 7 for a team that can't afford to wait. That 3 won't go for Johnson. Here comes Simmons. And she will be content, I think, to slow it down a bit and work some clock with a 15-point lead. Harrison for 3. Strickland runs it down. And a fresh 30 for the Lady Vols. Simmons bumped by Williams with 8 on the shot clock. It'll be a 1-and-1. Fourth foul on Raquana Williams, and a 16-point lead cut all the way down to 5 by Miami here in the second half, but they couldn't get over the top.
What had been working for Miami that allowed them to cut down that lead was their pressure. They had Tennessee rattled offensively. When Tennessee settled down into their press breaker, they were able to pick the Miami press apart, and that would enable them to get that lead back up. That's what has enabled them to get that lead back up to double digits. And the shooting of Tabor Spaney, of course. That hasn't hurt.
And it's back up to 16 for Tennessee. Timeout called by Katie Meyer. So Miami will talk things over as we take a look at our moment of the game, brought to you by Disney Parks. And it's Pat Summitt coming out tonight to obviously the cheer here at Thompson Bowling Arena. An embrace from Katie Meyer. And where she belongs in spite of the early onset dementia diagnosis. She said she wants to coach now and for at least the next 3 years. And it's hard to look over there and notice a difference.
It is. The assistants, as you see, Holly Warlick and Mickey DeMoss there, drawing on the board right there, helping the team. And these are things that the assistants have always done for Pat Summitt. As you take a look at some of her history, a member of the 1976 Olympic team, a silver medalist, that team coached by Billy Moore. And you will see the assistants taking on a more active role without question, whether it's in practices, shoot-arounds, or the games. But it is not, they are not taking a more active role in things that they haven't done before. They've always been a very active and a very cohesive unit here as Tennessee coaching staff.
25th anniversary of Thompson Bowling Arena, and this has been a tough place for opponents to play. Not only a 341-20 home record, but the Lady Vols tonight putting a 37-game home court win streak on the line. They haven't lost at home since Duke came in mid-February of 2009 and beat them in here. So it looks like it'll be 38 straight at home for Tennessee. And out of 25 years, 10 of those 25 have been perfect. 10 undefeated home seasons.
That just speaks to the quality of players that this Tennessee coaching staff has recruited over the years, and then the quality of coaching that those players get once they arrive on campus here in Knoxville.
Strong move on the baseline by Raquana Williams. She's got 24.
Well, you take a look at this Miami team and such high expectations entering this season, and rightfully so. This is a team that returned every significant contributor from a year ago. And Katie Meyer told us this morning at shoot-around, she didn't know what the outcome of the game was going to be, how her kids would play, but she said, I will take November lessons over March lessons any day of the week. I'm going to learn about my group. I'm going to learn about individual players, who can handle what in pressure situations. Miami will grow from this, and they'll be a better team because of it.
Florida State, or Florida rather, and Ohio State coming up next year as our tip-off marathon presented by Disney Parks continues. When you look at where Miami should fit in this year in the ACC, what do you see?
I think Miami's the favorite. I think they're the favorite to win the ACC. They tied for the championship a year ago at 12-2. They return every significant contributor. They have great firepower. I think they are clearly the favorite in the ACC, and I think they have the two best players in the ACC in Shanice Johnson and Raquana Williams.
McGuire gives it up. And ends up with Strickland.
If you look at Tennessee, this is another great performance for them. Tremendous balance. You see the improvement. And you got to credit that young woman right there, Shekinah Strickland, because she got a talking to, I'm sure, at halftime. Only 3 points and 3 rebounds, and she has responded like an All-American should here in the second half.
Stroman with a chance for a three-point play with 24 seconds to go. So Miami will fall to 1-1 to start off the season, but you talked about exactly what Katie Meyer said to us earlier today, which was, you know, we looked at the schedule for Miami and said, this is a pretty ambitious schedule. She said, hey, if you learn those lessons in November and December, then maybe you're even more hardened for March. And it's the same for Tennessee. They play ranked team after ranked team through the first couple of months before the SEC schedule starts.
Circle one date on your calendar. That's 2 weeks from today. Baylor, the #1 ranked team in the nation, comes into Thompson-Boling Arena. That is going to be a huge test for Tennessee and a huge test for Baylor as well. But great win for the Lady Vols tonight.
So Pat Summitt's team pulls away in the end. It was a terrific game between these two teams. And Tennessee wins it 92-76. This has been an exclusive presentation of ESPN. Your home for the Women's NCAA Championship. Now let's go to Dave O'Brien and Dan Dockich.